It must be Ami.
Okay, good. It's recording, I guess.
I still can't hear you, Ami. Your audio is no bueno.
Your mic is bad or something. Connection.
He'll get it. But I'm
now?
Yep.
Yeah, good.
So thank you, Ami. Everybody say thank you, Ami.
Thank you, Ami.
Thank you, Ami.
Thanks, Ami.
You know why?
If you allow us to record,
you took out Dan.
I took Dan off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you the admin or the moderator or whatever? Could you?
I transferred that to you, I think, just before I got out and got in again.
I still can't record,
Same
so
here.
I'm not.
It's recording.
I know, but it'd be nice if more than one of us were recording.
Yeah.
I'm recording. Let's see if I can.
Whoever can. Whoever goes to participants, everyone go to participants and then see if you can grant record privileges. That's how you'll know you're the admin.
Allow to record.
Can't record. I guess Amy is
Yay!
Amy is the host.
Somebody did it.
Record, June. Allow, Lenny.
Cool. I'm recording.
Thank you.
Allow to record.
Not that I don't trust you guys to
Everybody can
record.
record now.
We're all recording, cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we got enough people recording, I guess. So
They say we stand on the shoulder of giants, but in this room, I feel like I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with giants. There's a lot of incredible people in this group.
yeah, fantastic.
Got yeah.
It's a fierce one. How do we run it? Who's the boss? Brandon?
I'll moderate, but I'll go last. So
since we have, I can start because I'm not a coder. I think all the rest of you more or less are coders, aren't you? And you have pitches for product. Am I right?
Yeah. I think we have
I'm not
to
a
be
coder.
quick. We are 6, so I guess we have to make 5 minutes each. Top max, I guess.
I'll make mine free to give you more time.
Okay, Lenny, take it away.
Okay, good. Some of you know me a little bit because I've been bragging a bit about my life and so. But anyway, in short, I'm not a coder. I'm not affiliated with any party or any product or anything like that. So I don't have any bias. I just take everything in as it comes and try to judge accordingly what is good for community, what community wants, etc., etc., etc. My strength and what I've done in my life is serial entrepreneuring, finance, leadership, governance, constitutional law in organizations, all these kind of things. And what I try to do is always to stay abreast with everything happening in the areas I'm working in. I'm working kind of part-time when I feel like it. So I do have a lot of free time to pitch in and all these things and can do even more than I do today. You might have seen the recaps I do. I read all that stuff anyway. It's just a matter of filtering and try to stay neutral when you do the recaps and stuff. So it takes a wee bit of time, not that much. Yeah, what else can I tell about me? I'm pretty honest. I am honest. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a history which talks about long time in different leaderships. I have about 35 years of experience in starting and running different kind of business. And during free time, also developed and coached in sports and did some civic duties. My sport was judo, started judo in the country of Tonga, Kingdom of Tonga, back in 91, and I was president there. Then I became Oceania Judo Union vice president and president over a period of 12, 13 years. I was vice president in International Judo Federation. I've been senior vice president, Tonga National Olympic Committee. I've done government things, Tonga Development Bank, 6 years as a board of director member and similar. So I have a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of bad, some good, and a lot of mediocre. So I got that kind of an experience. That's where I'm coming from. I'm a quiet guy normally, except when I'm pitching. And that's because I only like to speak if I see something that is clearly wrong, or I feel that I have input that is worth putting in. Because when you're in a coding environment, I don't often have input. I'm just trying to understand it all. What else can I mention about me? Yeah, what do I want to do? Why do I want to go forward? Well, basically, like I said, I'm the kind of guy who take it in and value. We've seen so many pitches. I got a new pitch, of course, from a previous group. And, you know, it's just impossible to give you a program now. This is predetermined. I'm going to do this and this. So my own idea was basically, and my own priorities are ease of entry. And there we have gray mass, EOS in a box, Army. And to some extent, EOS support, EOS Bs, those two guys on the support side. So those three fit into that picture, but there might be something else around. I'm not sure. And then also a bit of marketing and other. And Violet Garden just popped up a week ago and similar, which is a very good, promising thing. But my last group, we had an NFT guy from Korea, quite impressive, very impressive. And it was a demand, not a demand, request from them that I'll discuss with him and see. And I did say I do so. And if I deem it viable, because I like to research also the team, the persons, go back a little bit, the history and stuff, I'll give up to 50% if I were to move onward and similar of those funds I will earn. And finally to that NFT if it proves good, unless we're not pooled for something else or whatever. And finally, if I go up, and already now, I will take 10% off the funding I received to do things, and 10% up to a max per month, and up to a maximum of 1,250 euros a month equivalents in EOS. That's all. And then I could pitch in maybe 20, 30 hours, fill my days and whatever. So that's very short, very sweet, but I see so many good candidates that want to pitch for their own product. So I'll bide my time. Thank you.
All right. Anyone want to go next? Burning? How about June?
I'll go.
Oh, no, Chuck volunteered.
Hey guys, I didn't expect to make it through the last round. My pitch was for a community food program that I am involved with, and my goal is to help them onboard to EOS. Help first of all to create accounts for every volunteer and worker in the organization, and to be able to recognize them properly for the work that they do, with, you know, on-chain reporting, and then NFT rewards for things that they get accomplished. So regular rewards for regular work, and then the goal of onboarding the organization further and deeper down the EOS rabbit hole to governance and to scheduling and to every other tool that is possible. With that, with the initial investment into the organization is to get them onboarded and get the tools set up for them to use it. But we're also going to be a friend of mine who's in the organization. We're going to be cataloging everything, writing about the process, and trying to create a cookie cutter process for other nonprofit organizations to onboard their members. So my vision is to have an Eden representative who is a real person, onboard organizations and basically vouch for them. So there you go.
Awesome. Anyone else burning to go? June, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's great to see, you know, old timers, Brandon, kind of one of the first ones to introduce me to Eden, and, you know him from the BitShares days. So, but that's kind of my story from BitShares, late 2014, early 2015 to Steam, following Dan all the way to EOS until now, which I think is an incredible breakthrough in governance, and, you know, putting the human layer on this, this great, fantastic technology that we have. And currently working on a DeFi project to, I think, you know, DeFi is the kind of the natural progression from the base layer of money, you know, so, and crypto is a money. So, but, you know, pretty agnostic in terms of, you know, EOS is great technology, we're using it, but we're also with other, planning to work with other kind of cryptocurrency ecosystems as well. So I'm excited, have done EOS Ignite governance events, and, you know, I was excited about DAOs and doing kind of, you know, in the past, some webinars on that. And yeah, would like to just, you know, I think my philosophy here is just trying to represent everybody I kind of meet in these groups, and or pass that along to whoever our delegate is. You know, just so in our previous meeting, you know, we had Anat from you know, Ami's wife, which you know, and that was fantastic to meet her, and you know, she's trying to help grow presence in Israel, and you know, so I think representation there. There were a couple people from China, kind of a old Ethereum miner who put all his money into EOS, but he's still engaged, which is fantastic. So you know, he's a programmer. His friend he brought in was also part of the group, is also a programmer. So it's always good to kind of you know. But I do think, you know, as far as their perspective, I think having at least a path to get maybe a Chinese Eden community, because it was a little bit difficult for him to speak in English. I thought, you know, that was important too. So so those are the people. I was just being a conduit, and so I mean, anything to help the EOS ecosystem, probably particularly Eden, I think for now, so that then we could expand to other projects. You know, that would be my personal kind of desire. But other than that, just being a conduit and just being a delegate for those that were part of the meeting, I think is my approach. And hopefully, you know, we can, you know, whoever the delegate is, you know, I can pass along kind of and share so that, you know, people can kind of keep it with them when they decide, you know, what to vote on in the future. So that's pretty much it for me.
Thanks, June. Vincent?
Go ahead. So I don't know if you all know me. So I'm Vincent. I'm from Paris, France. So I'm a community member since 2020, and I'm very involved since early 2021. I joined Eden in April, and we started with 4 or 5 people. EOS French-speaking community in Telegram and Twitter. Because in the French-speaking community, EOS is not known at all, so badly known, as you all know, also in the English-speaking community. And also the French-speaking community is crypto is enormous. So there are a lot of people. For example, in the Ultra French-speaking group, there are 13,000 people. We went from 10 to 150 people in our Telegram group. So we have a lot of room to grow, a lot of people to talk to educate on EOS. So we are 4 people who met a bit. So we saw each other on social media, and we started this group for free since Q1 2021, and we do AMAs. We invite people from the broader community, like EOS Marketplace, Raymer. We invited in our group. We made an AMA with him to educate the community about him. We're doing a lot of his NFTs. We are translating more Equanimon in French also. So we really, our goal is really to be the entry point for the French-speaking people on EOS, and to educate them not only for the price for people to buy EOS, but also for the values EOS are for the values of Eden. So I also represent the EOSBs community, French Hive. So I'm the princess of the EOSBs French Hive. I guess you all know EOSBs. If someone doesn't, you can say so I can explain. But so I'm the princess of the French Hive. We are 10 people for now. So I passed the first round. We were 4 Eden members, and two of us passed the first round. Our goal in the first round was to get 70% of the money for us, because we want to go further with our EOS French-speaking group. We want to launch a website. We are doing tutorials, a complete guide in French for the user to help create a wallet. All of this really what I wished I had when I joined the community in 2020. All of this in French. We are doing that right now. We are finishing it. Actually, we will make a YouTube channel. We started a Telegram group, an Instagram group. So we are really very ambitious for the community. We are also planning to do AMAs with other crypto group in French. to get us known in those groups, to get people in our group and educate them and go bigger, go bigger. But for that, we need funding. We already got funding. So basically our minimum goal was achieved with the two of us going to the second round. But now I guess, so for my part, I will be representing almost EOSB's 80% of the money. If I go through, will go to EOSB's because as you know, EOSB's has no funding yet and needs, as Jesse told me, EOSB's needs 40,000 euros per month to launch fully, with all that is said in the white paper. So it will need basically at least 2 or 3 people to go to the last round. Maybe we will use Pomelo after the election to duplicate the funding. But if I go through, it will be almost only for EOSB's because EOSB's is very important. I guess marketing is very important for EOS. All the hives that gather, there are 10 hives with 10 different languages. I think it's a lot of people that really are dedicated, really want to go through that, and it will be a shame not to have enough funding to launch EOSB's. So yeah, so if I go through, the money will go 80% to EOSB's, 20% to our EOSFR group so that we can go forward, go bigger. Yeah, that's it for me.
So it's
Awesome.
my turn because I'm the one before the last one, which is you, Brandon. My name is Ami, and I think if I win this round, I will. I cannot promise in advance what I'm going to do with the funds every month. I think it's going to be an ongoing decision, and I'm going to consult with you guys. I suggest we have a Telegram group of just us for the coming months. I don't know if it's going to be 6 months, more or less. It's not clear to me yet. And I want to keep in touch with you and consult with you. In a broad sense, what I see is some groups forming, and I think this is a very good sign for us. It's not parties, it's not political parties, but it's actionable groups like EOSB's is one, EOS support is another, and I think there is at least one more group forming. I'm not sure if they have a name already. And I cannot promise to commit in advance what I'm going to do with the money 6 months ahead. I hope that EOS will appreciate in US dollar value, and it's going to enlarge the cake for everybody. And so that's it. Regarding my time, I'm pretty flexible. I'm a freelance CTO in 2 companies, and one is really boring in a nearby city. And I work less than 50% of my time there. There's another project in Canada, which I only work remotely. And I can dial down these projects and increase my involvement in EOS. I plan on being much more visible to the community on a daily basis. I'm gonna probably not get to the level of Chris Barnes ever, but I'm going to improve on my visibility and communication. And I think the one who wins this round needs to think of a balance between Eden projects and Eden budget allocation and EOS, the larger community, how to benefit the larger community and through Eden, but with an eye on the larger Eden EOS community. So it's a balance between the two. And I think it's a positive feedback loop because if EOS appreciate in value, and that's because of Eden, more people will want to join. We want to grow Eden. So that's my pitch.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think everyone here kind of knows me except for maybe Vincent. I think we talked maybe back in the day, but
I know you, Brandon.
Yeah, so Lovejoy. Yeah, I'm kind of approaching this from a similar perspective to Ami. The previous group, let me just tell you about what we talked about a little bit. So what came up in the previous group was, well, first of all, I was kind of right out of the gate wanting to support development in Violet Garden, which I think is a really hugely important piece of all this, which is the kind of a homegrown social media for us. And then, of course, EOS support, I think, is really crucial, as well as EOS bees. And other people of the group spoke to pretty much all of those topics. But then specifically, Harley, a gentleman from the previous group, was really interested in making t-shirts. And he had a couple of examples of really cool EOS and Eden fractal democracy t-shirts that he wanted to do. And I kind of suggested that he could work with EOS support because they have a merchandise section. And that'd be like a really good fit there. So I offered to support him in doing that and helping those two connect. Beans was in my group, and she's doing a lot of really incredible work in Ireland on the ground, trying to do fractal democracy in an actual, IRL political setting. And I find that very inspiring. And a lot of the work that you all know that I'm doing is to try and take this EdenOS fractal democracy idea and make it intelligible to everyday ordinary people that are outside of crypto. And so I would like to help, continue creating materials for people on the ground to use this process, even if they're not even on the blockchain. So that really spoke to me. And I'm also a big fan of Ireland. So my heart's very much with Ireland and what they're working on right now and what Beans is working on. And Shi from Zhangzhou, China, was also a member of EOS Bees, and he brought up, wanting to continue working with EOS Bees and support the language group there with China and Mandarin, and so I think that's another area to focus on. For myself, I'd just like to say that. If I were to be selected and go on to the next round, I would essentially try and equally portion the budget between these various groups. But again, as Ami said, it's difficult. I think we need to stay in touch and have it be a conversation, not only with this group, but I'd like to take information from the round that I went through prior to this and incorporate that into. I see this kind of forming in like interesting like little mastermind groups that can help inform whoever moves forward. So whether it's me or somebody else, I hope the spirit is that we can continue to aggregate the wisdom of these groups that we've been a part of as we move forward. Did I want to say anything else? Chuck, I think the community food charity thing is really interesting. I'd like to see, I would like to support something like that as well. Like I like the idea of using that as a test bed for creating like a template for community charity organizations to onboard onto Eden and Eden on EOS. I think that was your idea. And yeah, the more, just know that about me that my main goal is to make anything we do be really impactful to people on the ground that aren't even necessarily like part of blockchain. And to do that, we need to strengthen Eden, and we need to strengthen EOS, obviously. But I view as a measure of success the ability to which we're able to impact communities all over the world, rather than just enriching token holders, which, you know, is great and probably a necessary step along the way, but not the end goal in my mind.
Thanks, Brandon. I see Eden as I was saying, it's a way to vouch for RL organizations or real life people. Obviously, we vouch for each other when we induct each other. But I see the next step, or the onboarding, the evangelism end of this is each one of us has to step up and step out into our real life communities and see if there's anything out there that we can onboard. And whether you just you have a talk, you know, you rent a hall and you have a talk about crypto, it's just something like that. But then at the end of it, you can just say that these are the possibilities. But targeting organizations, I feel like Eden should have a bounty system available to it, where an Eden member can go and hunt for organizations and businesses that could be onboarded potentially, and then the Eden community can sort of envelop that and help it to onboard itself. And then part of my goal with with this food program is to, as I said, document the whole process and create a template for it. But I think it's a huge opportunity for Eden is to just go and headhunt potential organizations, because the organizations are made up of people. They're made up of future accounts. So if we can go and create a batch of new accounts for this 100-member organization, you suddenly have 100 real people on the block, you know, in the system. And it would be hugely successful for Eden if we just reached out and tried to find these organizations.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah, Chuck, I think the cookie cutter documentation is the most important part of what you're offering. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a matter of getting it all together. Keeping a blog. Actually, the woman that I'm involved with in this organization, on an organizational level, she's a writer and she's a blogger, and she was expressing interest in helping to keep this documented, and I find it so exciting to be able to find other people to do things. It's just great.
Leverage. Yeah.
Anyone else? June, Vincent, Lenny, have any?
Yeah, just to add, but I think I mentioned it, but just my goal now here in the next day or two is to actually run through all the different videos, because all these pitches that came in the last few days and how many have now been presented verbally. I mean, you can't predetermine where you go, what you're going to do. You might find a golden nugget. So I want to go through that process anyway, because I went up one level, even if it's kind of peanut money you're dealing with, but still you got to get through it to be fair. But of course we know some of them, including Ami and a few people here. We know some projects, but you got to look at all of them. You got to be open-minded, and that's where I come from normally. I'm a quiet guy, like I mentioned, you know, it's just once in a while. But when I say something, I want it to be worth something. So that's me.
Good.
I agree also with this idea. So I think we should so the one who goes through takes the money, and we say afterwards how we dedicate this money to each project. So I'm representing EOS Biz obviously, but I love your support idea also. I guess each project will has a funding goal, and we can help them. So really find a balance about that. So I would vote for the one who wants to, Amy or Brandon. I guess you had both, I guess, the same ideas. So I would vote for one of you. And also about the other projects look very great as well. So if we can balance this money with this project, really find the right weight for each one, I would definitely go with that.
One more thing I wanted to say, actually, too. We should organize the Eden members the ones who won the first round, and even if it's peanut money, like Lenny said. And if we're organized, we can game the Pomelo system, but for good use. So it's legitimate, I think. And we can actually be open about it and talk about it. And maybe it will cause a landslide and cause people outside of Eden to join us and vote with their tokens. And they have a quadratic system, which is great. So the more people, the more funding we get out of Pomelo for any project we like. And we have to coordinate that and be enthusiastic and happy. And I'm thinking of Chuck's idea, and I'm thinking of EOS in a box, which I'm planning on continue working on regardless if I get voted to any level or not. And I think that it can be custom made on a different domain for a specific project and made much simpler and easier, because you can have the custodian account pre-populated for a specific project and just have a page that says you're joining and you're agreeing that Chuck's team is going to be the one handling your key pairs if they need to replace something. So it can be much shorter and much simpler to onboard people using modified.
It's not a full DAO. It's not a fully decentralized autonomous organization, because the organization is currently owned by another organization, right? So it's a matter of grafting the EOS account system on top of this other system, right? And like you're saying, having a custodian account that can manage everybody's account if they want that, whatever. I hear what you're saying. Being able to just deploy a batch of accounts and throw it at an organization is such a beautiful thing. Yeah. And I love the EOS in the box for that aspect, that potential of it.
Yeah. I think it's a nice, it doesn't have to go to the extreme of being fully decentralized DAO. Yeah. You can have a hybrid, and that's very interesting. That can only happen on EOS.
Yeah, probably. And that would require teamwork from everybody, in Eden to help something like this to develop and thrive. It's almost like we've got EOS Bs, EOS for communities or something. EOS, or I don't know what it could be branded as, but it's specifically onboarding onto EOS, and Eden is Anyway, we're running out of time here. We've got to start collecting some consensus.
I think we can vote 10 minutes after this 5 minutes is up after the meeting, right?
Yeah, Ken, I didn't realize that. That was interesting.
Me as well.
So it's I just real quick,
I'm not I'm not sure on the 10 minutes. I think that's only for the video upload and sorting out. But
no, we can vote during the 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I know Ami and Brandon. So and it's great to meet everybody, Vincent, Chuck, and Lenny. But I know Brandon for a long time, so I feel like just that trust level is there. And Ami as well. I've met him in Brazil, Rio. So, and I like the process Ami mentioned about using a Telegram, keeping in touch. I think that's a great way to kind of get the people in the earlier stages to have input. And so I think that's fantastic. And I like Brandon where he's like, giving it a little to each different project. I like that idea. It's hard to really, say what you're going to do without knowing, but to be able to kind of maybe diversify a little bit. I like that idea. And we have, ESBs, we got Chuck's food project, and Lenny, as well. I know you mentioned NFT projects and others in your groups and your own. So but anyway, so I feel like that's where I'm coming from. Probably Ami or Brandon are the two, just because of the trust levels there with me personally, and then I probably, rather than moving forward myself, I would rather just delegate to them. But I do want to stay in touch with everybody, and I think this is fantastic. I'm excited about the future Eden EOS. So glad to be part of this event. So
I'm willing to serve at the next level if y'all want me to. Ami is eminently qualified, having done this twice now in the trial election, as a member of the board and also as the sortition winner. So I can't this would be my first time even, this is my first time even being through the first round. I think the first trial elections I was a little reticent to get too involved, but yeah, I'd be honored to serve in that capacity and to try and aggregate all the different ideas here and try to make sure that they all get airing at the next round and beyond, and make sure that the projects that this group is concerned with get funding. And my needs are pretty modest, and I already do this pretty much full time anyway. So yeah, that's all I got to say for myself. If Lenny wants it more than me, then he's going to get it. That's or if anyone else wants it like more than me, because I'm kind of like willing, but I'm also not you know, I'm not going to like fight anybody for this.
Rebuttal.
It's been a lot of fun.
No, basically, sorry, I was going to say, but hey, I leave it open to the guys here and similar. Like I said, I'm not offering a product. I'm offering an experience and a brain. And that it's, if we find someone we want to get in who do a product, or like Brandon with his scripter writer or whatever, hey, I'm draw back, not a problem. I kick myself to show that I'm a candidate, but that's it.
I had a lot of fun being elected twice to the board, and once as a sortition winner. I kick myself in the butt for not being visible as Chris Barnes was, and I think I can improve on that. I was more in the back stage and in the Friday meetings on More Equal Animals. And I would be honored to represent the group again, but I'm good with whoever you choose. I'm out for it.
All right.
Only June have hinted so far. Come on,
Lenny's got his hat in the ring, and
I think as long as we, so I think we all you have all we all have the same ideas, as long as we decide together and reach consensus also afterwards about how the money, where the money goes. Obviously, the one who has the money has the power, but I guess it will be in the interest of everyone to distribute this money the most efficient way possible. So I would go with Brandon or Amy. I don't have any preference. So if it comes back to my if it comes back to my decision, I will choose. But for now,
I just voted for Brandon. Brandon, you've had your face out there the whole time, and you haven't been recognized yet. And I think that you could represent any one of our views extraordinarily well.
Okay.
As could anybody else here.
I have changed to Brandon also.
Okay, I will go with Brandon. So also.
And I love Amy, not Amy.
Congratulations.
And please continue with that one. Some more funds should go your way. It's a beautiful concept you have.
Thank you. And if I'm definitely, you know, a huge fan of EOS in a box. I should have mentioned that earlier. So you've got my support as well in that regard.
Thank you.